My name is Madaleno. I'm a state senator for Montgomery County. For the last 15 years, I've had the honor to serve in the General Assembly, where I think if you were to talk to my colleagues who are here, you would find that I'm a pragmatic problem solver. I'm the type of person who wants to get in and actually make progress in coming up with the solutions that the people of our state need. I was the person who people came to make sure that when Washington County was unable to satisfy its obligations to the federal government in order to be able to serve free food to 3,600 children in 11 schools across this county, including the Monroe Academy, and the principal is sitting right here, we were able to get through a measure that makes sure that we're using federal funds to provide those 3,600 young people in Washington County free breakfast, free lunch every day, so they can work, they can be concentrating, they can succeed in school. That bill also means that every child in Baltimore City, every child in Somerset County on the Lower Shore is also getting free breakfast and lunch every day, at the expense of the federal government, not the people of the state of Maryland. When the Trump administration wanted to jump in and kill funding for Planned Parenthood, I led the charge to make sure we would be the first state in the country to step in and make sure we would continue to fund Planned Parenthood so that they would continue to provide the health care services that they provide. And I'll be out here at the Planned Parenthood Clinic in Hagerstown, which is the only one west of Gaithersburg, to make sure that they continue to provide those services and to see the good work that they do every day. You heard our Attorney General talk about his efforts to sue the federal government to hold Donald Trump accountable. That was my bill. I stood up on the Senate floor and defended that bill. I was the one who Andy Serafini led a walkout on because they didn't want to face that. They didn't want to have to cast a vote. They're as offended by Donald Trump as we are. They scattered, as Larry Hogan does, while people like Roger Mano and I continued to vote, and as did Aruna and Bill Frick, all voted to give Brian that authority. And in fact, we turned around and we said, you know what, how much money did the state of Oklahoma use to sue the federal government to stop the cleanup in the Chesapeake Bay? $1 million and 5 attorneys. We then put that in the budget so that Brian Fosh would have that same amount of money and authority to go after the Trump administration. That's the type of pragmatic problem solving that you get from me. Now, when you look at Larry Hogan, look, probably many of you know Larry Hogan stood out there on I-81, right, and took credit for widening I-81. Who did the heavy lifting in order to get the funds necessary to build that road? The legislators who are sitting here. I led the charge on the Senate floor to get the money in order to do that road. Larry Hogan ran against those projects, ran against that funding, and now comes out here and issues press releases for groundbreakings. And he'll be out here as if the money fell from heaven to build I-81 because he avoided those hard decisions. We don't, I won't, and I won't as your governor. We will work hard to build every part of this community. We will invest in education. You actually heard Kevin say it. We were number 1, we're at number 5, we're falling faster. And you know why? Because Larry Hogan, on his 3rd day of office, tried to cut $1 billion out of public education. We didn't let him. We stood against that and stopped that from occurring. If he has his way, the next 4 years will be cutting back on public education, cutting back on infrastructure, cutting back on the things that we care about. If you want a coming attraction of the next 4 years of Larry Hogan, look at the state of New Jersey, right? Chris Christie was a favorable governor. Now he's the most disliked governor in the country. That's what we're standing on. That's what we're looking at if we have an unchained Larry Hogan for the next 4 years. That's why we need to stand up and fight for a Democratic governor. And I promise you, as your nominee, we will struggle and fight for every vote, not just from Bethesda to Baltimore, from Ocean City all the way to Oakland. We will be in all 24 jurisdictions for the primary, for the general, and for all 4 years afterwards. Building a party that isn't just about getting me elected, Ben Cardin re-elected, Brian, Peter, all the great statewide Democratic elected officials. We will be fighting to make sure we have a Democrat on the county commissioner. We will be fighting to make sure we have a Democrat back in the House of Delegates representing the city of Hagerstown. We will fight for every office that we can. We will protect the incumbents who are here, because we're going to have a strong Democratic Party that's built to fight for our values, things like a prevailing wage and a right to work well, not a right, fighting the right to work laws for labor. We will continue to fight for those values if I have the honor of being your nominee. So I look forward to talking with you more, pick up my materials, engage in this election, because come November, look, Larry Hogan has already lost. He's the one that doesn't realize it. We are going to get out and we're going to win, and we're going to win big. And together, we will usher back in a democratic age in the state of Maryland. Thank you so much.